Hello, everyone. It's so nice to see you tonight. My name is Ben Nelson, and I am here. I am here in this place, in this moment, right now, to tell you something that's very important. The first thing I want to tell you is this: I believe that I have been put on this earth for a reason. I believe that I've been put on this earth to help unify people, and I believe that we all have the potential to be great. And my dream is to see and unite people in their purpose, to have people become who they're meant to be in this life, to see people overcome obstacles, to become their greatest person that they can be. I believe in humanity, and I believe that the reason I have been put here on this earth is to help you achieve greatness, to help unify, possibly unify you with your family, unify you with a broken relationship, to help maybe even unify you with yourself. Maybe you've lost a sense of who you are. You are running around aimlessly in this life, not knowing what to do. Maybe that's why I've been put here, is to help you. The fact is, I don't know who I've been put here to help. All I know is that right now, I needed to film this and make this public so that everyone can know my dream. My dream is to be a motivational speaker, professional speaker, and to help touch the lives of many people. That's my dream. And I don't know how it's all going to unfold. All I do know is that I needed to release this video tonight and to tell you how passionate I am about life and how passionate I am about seeing people achieve greatness and not settling for anything that's less than who they truly can become. Because we are all unique individuals. We all have been blessed with a human endowment. The human endowment that we have that's so much different than any other animal or living thing on the earth is the fact that we have the gift of awareness. We have the gift of awareness to become aware of what's around us so that we can change the way that we think and the way that we do things. It's an amazing gift. No other creature on this earth has this gift. It sets us apart from every other creature, except for maybe a dolphin, which I've heard of. But still, it's pretty dang amazing. The gift that you can decide for yourself and make a choice to do something different. So I have 5 master steps that I'm developing to start my journey as this professional speaker. And I figured the best way for me to start is to start talking to you about it on YouTube. And I'm so excited. I mean, when I thought about doing this tonight, it's actually been on my mind for a long time. And I flirted with the idea of getting on and doing this, and then I just got scared, and I'm like, I don't know if I can handle this, you know. And it's really had to come at the right time for me, and I myself have had to overcome the fear of not knowing what people are gonna think, because I know there's gonna be people out there that are gonna be like, who is this guy? What's he doing on here? This is lame. You know, this guy's not gonna amount to anything, and that's all fine and dandy too. But then there's going to be people that are out there that do believe in my message and can benefit from it. So I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to all of you who are looking for something to help you change your life. So the first thing that I want to tell you is the first master step that I'm developing in my curriculum called the Ultimate Breakthrough Club. And that might change at any time. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for seminars and things of that nature. Right now I'm trying to do something at a local school with this. We'll see what happens. But the main thing that you want to look at when you're first starting your journey is that you've got to become aware of what's going on. So the first master step that I'm going to talk to you about tonight is called to experience the awakening. Okay? We all have the opportunity, like I said, to change our thought processes, to actually change the way we think and process information so that we can do things differently, so that we can approach life in a different way or in a different paradigm, okay, with a different lens. When we look at our lives through a different lens, it's only then that we're able to change. What I mean by that, what I mean by a paradigm or this lens that I'm talking about, it's actually a term that was brought out in my all-time favorite self-help book called The 7 Habits for Highly Effective People, which was written by Stephen Covey back in the 80s, like 1989. It's quite old. But it's one of the most fascinating, most important books of our time, I believe. And it's sold many copies, millions and millions of copies. But what Stephen says in that book is we all have the way in which we see the world. But a lot of the times, the way in which we see the world is not the correct way. Because if you guys are living in your life right now and you're not finding that you're happy, you're finding that you're just being kind of driven around to and fro by what other people want you to do. Or maybe you're just so scared that you don't want to do anything. Okay, whatever the case may be, if you're not happy with your life, you're in a state of victimism. And when you're in a state of victimism, it's run by fear and control. You never seem to be able to get your feet under yourself and moving like you want to. But the thing is when you're in a victimized state, you can change that, okay? You can change your victimized state and you can change it into something amazing. And all that needs to happen is your focus. Tony Robbins is a person that I've been studying now for about the last year. And if you haven't checked out any of his work, feel free to. Just type in Tony Robbins on YouTube. You'll find a load of information about him. But Tony Robbins says, if you want to change your life, simply change your state. Change your state, change your life. Okay? It's all meaning the state that we're in. If we're depressed, if we're kind of feeling sad or angry or just fed up with life, you can change that state. You don't have to remain in that state. You decide, you have that freedom to choose what you want to do at any given moment. It's entirely up to you. You just have to put yourself in a different state. So either with a state or a paradigm, however you want to look at it, with Stephen Covey, he says, the paradigm that we have, or the lens in which we view the world, sometimes can be really self-centered. You'll also find if you're victimized right now, you're in a very self-centered state as well. You're not being grateful for what you do have. So there's a good way to start. Start being grateful for what you do have. Start being grateful for eyes to see, nose to smell, legs to walk around with, a car to drive, food to eat, water to drink. You start by saying these things and you'll notice that the way in which you feel, you start to feel more abundant. You start to be feeling more full of light. And then all of a sudden, those things that you are worried about don't seem as worrisome because you're now in the state of feeling grateful. And when you're in a state of feeling grateful, you feel abundant. You don't feel like there's anything that you're really lacking because you're just grateful for what you have. So when you're in a state of abundance, there's no way that you can feel like you don't have enough because you're grateful for what you have at any given moment. When you're abundant, there's no room for scarcity. Okay? There's no room for victimism. One of the other things that you can do if you're really wanting to experience an awakening in your life is to simply sit down and start reading a book. Start reading a self-help book. Many of you may have never touched a self-help book, and I'm telling you, I never even touched a self-help book until I was in my early 30s. And yes, I am 36. I will mention that to you. I may look a lot younger than what you see. I am not a child by any means, even though I may look it. I realized the power of self-help books only when I experienced my separation for the first time, and subsequently following that, I experienced a divorce. Okay? And I don't recommend this for anyone, but we all go through our rough times, we all go through our journeys, and that needed to happen for me to experience my own awakening, which was, Ben, you need to start looking at yourself, and you're finding yourself in this position where you feel victimized, where you're sad, where you want to blame, where you want to be angry. And I knew that those feelings that were inside of me, I didn't want them to exist anymore. I knew a change needed to be made, and I knew and realized in that moment that only I could make that change. No one else could make it for me, and I think maybe some of us just sit around and we're like, hey, genie in a bottle. Genie in a bottle, why don't you come out and help me with my problems? Why don't you come and grant me 3 wishes? Okay? There is no genie in a bottle. You have to be the one that programs your mind, that tells your mind, because your mind is, like Tony Robbins says, a servo mechanism. We train our mind to do what we want it to do for us. So if you're training your mind just to sit around and pout about your life, that's exactly what you're going to get. If you sit around and just look on your computer all day and play video games, then you're going to have a really lazy, unfulfilling life, and you're going to feel like you're not living with any meaning, okay? If you sit around and you're working at a dead-end job that you do not like because it's not giving you any type of fulfillment, that's your own problem. You see, we are the ones that are causing our own grief. No one else is causing this grief for us. We choose with our own minds and our own hearts what we want, okay? And so you can't sit around and blame anyone else for your problem. When you start blaming other people, you become even more victimized. You become even more contained in this downward spiral of crap, okay? It's just not touche. It's not fun. There is nothing fun about that. So I'm telling you right now, if you want to make a change, then you have to be the change. That means you have to take a step forward and do something that you normally wouldn't do. If you're sitting here going through the same thing over and over and over and over again, then that's probably telling you something. Things aren't working out for you. You've got to take a different approach. And like I said again, only you can make that approach. No one's going to save you from yourself. Only you can do that. So by picking yourself up, reading some self-help literature like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, amazing book, and I tell everyone about this book that I can. I've given out several, and I hope to order more so I can give out more of this book. And no, I am in no way affiliated with Stephen Covey or The 7 Habits, but I believe in the book, and so that's why I'm telling you about it. It can transform your life, okay? Start reading a book like that. Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus is another huge eye-opening book for me, that if you're in a relationship and you're struggling, you don't understand why your wife does certain things, or your girlfriend, you can never seem to reach her, you might want to read this book because it could do you some good, and it could help transform your relationship and help you to see the differences between men and women, because we're totally different, if you haven't already guessed, okay? We're a different species, and altogether we have different ways in which we think, okay? So that book can really help you experience an awakening in your relationships. Stephen Covey can help you experience an awakening in your relationships, but even just on an individual basis, and even in the workplace, in organizations as well. So you got all these different options available to you. We're only skimming the surface. Self-help books are everywhere. and they're as easy to access as just going on your computer. Now, how would it be if you could get onto your computer and access informational books that will help you transform your life instead of getting on Facebook? Am I onto something here? I think we're onto something here. That could be a life-changing moment for you. All of a sudden, you come from Facebook to learning something that's going to help you in your life. Does Facebook help you in your life? Really think about that. Probably not. Okay? Facebook is more about entertainment, and if you're not on there just to, if you're on there just to sit around, then that's cool. But I'm telling you what, it's not going to get you where you want to go. If you're on there to help make a difference and maybe be a voice for good, then that's great, because we need more people to speak up and help each other out, okay? Because life is this. Life is all about unconditional love. We all have this essence within us, this soul within us that wants to be more. And underneath all your walls of pain that you're experiencing, you have a soul that's yearning to break free, that's yearning to make a difference, that's yearning to help other people. And so experience the awakening by diving in and doing something different today. Be grateful. Be grateful for what you have, your house, your clothes, your kids, your teeth so you can eat. It doesn't matter. Your armpit hair. Hey, at least it helps keep your armpits intact, right? It doesn't matter. Just start being grateful for what you have. Because in that moment, things start to change. In that moment, you start to feel abundant. In that moment, you can start to make a difference for yourself. Be grateful. Start reading a self-help book that you've never read before. Pick one up and start reading it, and you will start to experience all these aha moments that you've never experienced before. And then you can, after you experience the awakening, where you're awakened to a different state, the aha moments pop into your head, the light bulb comes on. Then, and only then, can you make a shift, because then you're like, wow, I did this and that was my fault? For real? Yes, it was your fault. And homie, yeah, you gotta change, okay? So you gotta do it. Only you can. And when you make the change, just like Michael Jackson said, make that change. You are entitled to a better life. So, this is Ben Nelson signing off with you for my first ever episode. With master step number 1, experience the awakening. Also, one other thing I wanted to mention. Do not forget the power of journal writing. And if you've never even heard of a journal, or like, what is a journal, man? Look it up. A journal is an opportunity for you to express yourself and write it out. Journaling actually crystallizes your thoughts and helps you gain more clarity with your thoughts so that you can make changes in your life. Journal writing is fantastic. Okay? So do that. Start journal writing, start being grateful, start a new self-help book. And then you're on your way to a better, more fulfilling, more amazing, fantastically invigorating life that you and only you can choose for yourself. This is Ben Nelson signing off from your Ultimate Breakthrough Coaching channel on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll talk to you next time. Yeah, baby, yeah!